Making 3D printer accessible for people with visual impairments by reading scrolling text and menus. Authored by Naoya Tagawa, Masakazu Iwamura, Kazunori Minatani, and Koichi Kisei. You may know the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral. When the blind author heard the news, he thought it was a loss of a tourist spot. However, after printing it on a 3D printer at work, he realized its grandeur and the meaning of loss through touch. This is an example of realism through touch. While he luckily had an access to a 3D printer, most of PVI do not have. Therefore, he began an on-demand 3D printed model distribution service in Japan. Similar services exist in the US and Europe. However, such services are mostly run by sighted people because printing 3D models on a 3D printer is still not easy for people with visual impairments, in short PVI. Why is it difficult? This is because the user is assumed to operate the 3D printer while looking at the display. A workaround would be using a text-to-speech app on their smartphone. However, the functionality is not always suitable for this purpose. For example, the apps are not suitable for menu selection. They read out all visible information on the screen, but the necessary information is often only the text information the cursor is pointing to. Reading out unnecessary information confuses the user. Another issue is that the apps cannot read scrolling text. When the text is long, you cannot see the entire text at once. However, the hidden portion of the text appears in sequence as it scrolls by from right to left. The configuration of the proposed system includes a camera mounted on a stand, a speaker, and a laptop computer. The first function of the proposed method detects the cursor position and reads out the item the cursor is pointing to.
The cursor points to print from SD.
The second function of the proposed method detects horizontal scrolling and reads out the entire text by merging the visible fragments into a complete sentence.
Apple_banana_orange_cat.
User study. We asked 13 PVI to use the proposed system and evaluate it. The first experiment is menu selection. As shown in this image, participants perform 3D printer operations, and their completion times are compared. These are the results of the menu selection. Task operation time was shorter with the proposed method. The second experiment was the reading of horizontally scrolling text. As shown on the left, we had participants read horizontally scrolling text using both methods. Participants rated the usefulness of the function on a 5-point scale. This graph shows the result. 11 out of 13 participants preferred the proposed method. Conclusion: the proposed system is a step forward in empowering PVI to independently create 3D haptic models.